Welcome to Totem Pole Nation, Lambo's World of Sports, featuring the Big Brother. And today is going to be a lot to talk about, but this game it brought a lot of things. It brought competitiveness. It brought toughness. But at the same time, Colorado was down 11 points in the fourth quarter. They were down the whole entire game. At some point, we thought Colorado State was going to win the game, but penalties, all this other stuff led into Colorado State losing. Colorado pulled off the win in double overtime. Ooh, it was 43-35. We didn't expect a high-scoring game. We thought all the stuff that Jay Norvell has said. But Colorado State, we found out that the QB is great. They're not a bad football team. Even though they're 0-2, they competed. The game came down to double overtime for a reason. Travis Hunter got knocked out. It was a dirty hit. By the way, as the Deion Sanders confirmed, that Travis Hunter will be out for 3 weeks. So he'll miss the Oregon game, the USC game, and another game going forward. Those are very, very huge. They won without him, but MattPatt, explain to us what happened in this game. And we were both trying to go to bed, but that game kept us up to about 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with the negatives, then I'll get to the positives of the game. So obviously, we all saw it. Colorado stumbled out of the gate again offensively, just like they have all year, basically. And the defense just isn't good enough, especially without Travis Hunter, for the offense to start that slow in the next two games, Oregon and USC. It just can't happen if they want to keep those games, within reach and possibly win them. And the game really showed that Colorado isn't invincible. The hype that comes along is certainly justified because Deion is Deion, and the team that he has put together is a great one. But it just shows that Colorado isn't invincible. 2.8 yards per carry is bad. We knew that the running game had struggled in weeks prior, but this definitely wasn't the game that I was expecting the running game to continue to struggle as much as it did. And it really reinforces Deion's vocality of the need to improve that O-line. And they also allowed 4 sacks. Shedeur escaped a few sacks, so it could have been more than that. On the defensive side, the secondary obviously got torched by the Colorado State quarterback, 397 yards, 4 touchdowns. After 3 weeks, the defense is allowing 460 yards of offense per game against 2 teams that we thought had bad offenses in, Nebraska and then Colorado State. TCU has been putting up points every week, so I'm not going to say that they have a bad offense. So it wasn't too damning that they allowed 40 whatever to them. But these past 2 weeks were not the weeks that they should be allowing this many points. And yards. Now to the positives. Shedeur is still one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the country, if not the most accurate quarterback in the country. Obviously, the first half did not go super well for him, but he still ended up throwing 80% and 350 yards. Up until this point, he's got the second most passing yards in the country, just behind Penix from Washington, which is not anything to be ashamed of behind a guy that's probably leading the Heisman race at this point. 4 receivers with 5+ receptions. Michael Harrison didn't start, but he answered the call, obviously, with those very, very clutch catches and touchdowns. Xavier Weaver had 9 receptions for 98 yards and is 4th in receiving yards in the country. So those are positives, but they're expected positives against a team that is on paper much lesser than this Colorado team. The defense held Colorado State to 2.6 yards a carry. So it was an improvement for the D-line that had looked like it was struggling. Linebacker Juwan Mitchell, shout out to him, 15 total tackles, 13 solo. That's a crazy stat line. And the team had 9 tackles for loss. So there are positives to take away from it. But, like you said, this is not what we expected the game to look like at all. Really just wanted to go to bed. I wanted him to put him away, and they just couldn't put him away. Had to come back from the deficit. But it shows resilience, like Deion was preaching the entire post-game press conference and all the interviews. he was saying, like, I wasn't happy with the way we played, but I was happy with the resilience we showed. But, like I said, at the end of the day, it just shows that Colorado isn't invincible, but it shows that they're able to pull off tough wins.
Yes, it is. And ladies and gentlemen, the Colorado State quarterback is Braden Fowler, and I can't know his last name. I can't pronounce it, but Braden Fowler is his first and middle name. Ladies and gentlemen, I think he's NFL ready. He Colorado defense. Now, I'm not saying he's all that. I'm not saying he's better than Caleb Williams and all that stuff. But I mean, we don't know who this quarterback was. Okay, he was a no-name guy. He was very, very quiet and all that other stuff. I think he might be NFL ready once Colorado gets better. I mean, he had his turnovers. He had his 3 interceptions. Okay, I get it. Some of those interceptions was bad. He had that pick 6. That was bad as well. He had the pick at the end of the game as well. He had to throw it up there. It was 4th and goal from the 20-yard line because of all the false starts. But, I mean, 367 was 34 for 47. I mean, for a guy that comes into Colorado Boulder and does what he does. But, ladies and gentlemen, the player of the game was Lewis Brown and Troy Holden. Both of these receivers have 26 receptions combined. And yardage combined, they had 2 touchdowns, and they had at least 260 yards receiving between 2 of those receivers. So that shows you right there that Colorado had a lot of problems on defense. They were running a lot of shallow crosses, a lot of underneath stuff, and they couldn't stop them. Every time it was 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, or 2nd and 7, they just ran shallow crossing routes over and over and over and over again. Now, I think there was a one play or something. I'm not sure it was incomplete, and they got beat deep as well. So the quarterback does have an arm. But the only thing that stopped Colorado State from winning the game was the fumbles and the interceptions. That's the only thing that stopped them from winning that game. Because Colorado, ladies and gentlemen, Colorado State, go ahead.
No, I was just adding to it, the penalties as well.
Yeah, so Colorado State was in the league for the whole entire game. I think they scored first. They was in lead for a whole entire game. But we kind of knew they were going to lose once they got into overtime because I felt like Colorado State just ran out of gas. Defensively, I think they came up with a great strategy. Now, I know there's a lot of people saying, oh, Colorado State found a way to stop Colorado. There's no blueprint. I mean, they just played bad. It's not really a blueprint. We won't see the blueprint on how to stop Colorado. Colorado State had them, but the only problem that just came down to was, I think, 17, 18 total turnovers that game. I mean, penalties that game. So you can't win games like that. And especially, I had a feeling that if it wasn't for the false start, I think on 2nd and 3rd and goal, Colorado State would have scored a touchdown and probably would have converted 2-point conversion. But once that false start happened, they just ran out of gas. And when you got 4th and goal at the 20-yard line, and a play call to do but throw a Hail Mary up there, like it ain't too much for your quarterback to really do. Like, it's a 50-50 ball. Especially with the whole Russell Wilson thing we'll talk about later as well. But I think Colorado State showed some fight. There might be some little things with Jay Norvell talking about his son started and whatnot, but it was respect in the middle of the field, which I wanted to see. But this is everybody can't hate on Deion and all that stuff, okay? Like, he wants every coach and he wants every brother to win. So it just comes down to that. But not sure how good Colorado State will be for the rest of the year, but this is not a game we both expected to hit double overtime. I know a lot of people lost this bet because the spread was supposed to be plus 23, and that changed very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. So they only lost by 8 points. As far as the run game, I mean, they didn't have too much. They had 102 yards running the ball. They ran the ball enough. It wasn't really too much at the same time, but I give credit to Colorado State. They almost pulled the upset. Would I have been? No, because I'm not a Colorado State fan, so I'm not going to be upset. But trust me, it would have a lot of hate and a lot of trending stuff if Colorado would have lost. There would have been a lot of flack, a lot of you suck and all this other stuff. So We'll see how this goes. The offensive line for Colorado needs some work. They need some work because because Colorado State was only blitzing 4 guys. They only blitzing 4 guys, and they still got to the quarterback. Shadoo was running for his life. So the offensive line needs work. Like I said, they play against Oregon next week, and Oregon is not like Oregon can play defense, but they had some good defensive linemen that came out after they had Kamion Tibbix, who's for the Giants. He's from Oregon, so they have some good defensive linemen. So Oregon is not a joke next week. But is there any final thoughts as far as this game? Because they play Oregon and Eugene next week, so it's not going to be an easy one. And you're not facing this quarterback. He's good. You're facing Bo Nix. You're facing that guy.
Without your top cornerback in Travis Hunter. The one thing I wanted to add was to everyone on Twitter that was shitting on the Colorado fans for storming the field. Why do you care? First of all, this team hasn't won anything since for over 10 years. They've literally won 6 games combined in the past 3 years. So
yes.
Yeah, these guys, these students that are there have literally never seen good football at home ever. In their entire tenure as students at Colorado, they have not seen good football. This is a rivalry game that they lost last year and means a lot to the campus and Boulder as a whole. And it means a lot to Colorado State too. So for everyone that was getting on Colorado students for storming the field, get over it. These are college kids that have not seen a good football team at home or in general ever. Let them storm the field. Who cares that they were 23-point favorites? They don't learn how to win, act like you've been here before. They haven't been here before. They have not been here before. Let them have fun. Let them storm the field, grow up, and stop being such an old person about this thing. Stop being so uptight about it. Let the kids have fun. Let them storm the field. It's a rivalry game. It's a big deal. They've had 6 wins since Obama was in office. Literally let them have fun, bro. That's my final thought on this game.
Yes, yes. Colorado, ladies and gentlemen. Did you not see the game and y'all get mad they stormed the field? We talk about what's his name? Offset was there. Somebody Offset was there, if I'm correct. Offset.
Lil Wayne was there.
Tristan Jazz was there, the former basketball YouTuber that's on Tristan Jazz with the clutch shots and the 1-on-1s, the 5-on-5 run. He was there too. Everybody was there. Everybody, all fans were going to Colorado. Man, I would go to a Colorado game. The face to the name to the face. Michael Irvin was probably there as well. No, he was watching from his house because he came on Twitter the next day and was like, "Ooh," from his hotel.
Yeah.
He does NFL Network now. I guess he got the NFL Network job back. But I don't see what the problem is storming the field. Now, security reasons, maybe you hate it and you can't stop everybody from storming the field. But look, Colorado's 3-0. When's the last time Colorado been 3-0? They've been 3-0 for what? Long time.
Their line was 3.5 games for the entire year. The line for their win total was 3.5 games the whole year, and they're 3-0 to start. Let the kids have fun. Let them storm the field. Grow up.
I don't have a problem with this, but I think Colorado, like I said, has a very tough matchup against Oregon and Eugene. It will not be easy. We will be previewing that game tomorrow. But as far as the final thoughts, guess I forgot who said it. I don't know if Shiloh said it or somebody else said it in the press conference. Was the money worth it? The money was definitely worth the game. Money-wise, Shiloh, yes. The tickets was $500+. We got your money. The money was worth it to be at that game. I would love to spend $500 and sit there and watch the game for 4 hours, even though we were supposed to go to sleep. It's worth it. It was great entertainment. It wasn't a blowout. It was a very close game. Any team could win. So, old people in America, nonsense people in America, people that are too stubborn and old school, can we stop this storming the field stuff? Let them storm the field. It's great. It's great for college football. That's why college football more exciting. It's maybe debatable for some people. I like better than NFL, but I'll watch both. College football is just exciting. Storming the field and all that stuff. You can't storm the field in the NFL. I mean, God, you get trucked. But that's all I have to say as far as that. Next episode we'll talk about is what in the world happened to Tennessee. Florida, ladies and gentlemen. Is Florida back? Yes or no will be the next episode. And MattPatt's going to explain if Joe Milton is really that guy or not. But this is Lambo's World of Sports. Colorado escapes Colorado State, luckily, but they have a tough opponent next week. And this is the game where they might lose, or will Lambo change his prediction and have them upsetting Oregon? So we'll see the next episode. Tennessee versus Florida. Lambo's World of Sports. We will see the next 5 minutes with the next episode. Peace out.